This is Science in Action. This is our first episode today, and we have a very special guest, Mr. Oscar Flute.
Hello, David. I don't know why I have to keep reminding you, but it's Oscar Flute. Really got to put that flute in it. How are you doing on this fine evening?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing just dandy.
Okay, that's great. Now, what are we going to talk about today?
Well, we're going to talk about cells.
What kind of cells?
Well, we're going to talk mainly about the plant and animal cells.
Right. I've heard there's some buzz going around. What's all the buzz about?
Well, it's about which one's more complex.
So, can you tell us which one is more complex?
Well, a lot of people on Facebook and Twitter have been saying that the animal cell is more complex, but it's really not. They're saying that it's more complex because the animal cell has more organelles, but that really doesn't matter at all. The plant cell is more complex because it has a chloroplast and a cell wall that really gives it that protection, and it really makes it bigger, and it gives it that really strong protection. And the animal cell only has a membrane.
Well, so can you tell us why or how the cells work?
Well, the animal cell, its nucleus. The nucleus directs the cell's activity. It contains the cell's operating instructions and stores information to send to other cells.
Okay, now I've heard about the vacuole, but I just don't know what it does.
Well, a vacuole contains fluid, and it is surrounded by a membrane. And it contains nutrients and helps the food that goes into the cell digest. Just kind of like we digest food, it has to do the same thing.
That's cool. Okay, now, what can you tell us a little bit about the plant cell?
Well, the plant cell, it doesn't really have that many things in it. But the main thing is the chloroplast, because the chloroplast helps make food go into the cell when sunlight hits the chlorophyll.
Okay, now what can you tell me about the cell wall? How does it protect it?
Well, the cell wall, it's rigid, and it lies just outside of the cell membrane, and it provides some kind of support, kind of like a force field that stops things from hurting it or destroying the cell.
Okay, now who discovered cells and how did they discover it?
Well, Robert Hooke discovered the cells in 1663. Now, that's a long time ago. We're in 2013. That's the 60s. 63, long time ago. And just to think that the microscopes we have today are very similar to the ones that they had when he started inventing those microscopes. Now, Anton van Leeuwenhoek was building small kind of mini handheld microscopes at the time, so you could take it places, kind of.
Okay, now I've also heard that Anton van Leeuwenhoek was used a simple light microscope to see very, very small cells.
Yes, he did. Like the cells in our body or in water. You can't really see the cells that are in water. You can really need a really good microscope to see those cells because they're very hard to see and they're very small.
Yeah, okay. So, what other things about cells can you tell us, any fun facts or anything like that?
Well, cells are kind of the building blocks of life. They really build up our world. Everything in it has cells in it. So really, with no cells, we wouldn't be here.
That is true. That's true. Now, so do you have anything else for us today?
Well, here, let me show you something in this book. See right here. See the water. See, you can't see the cells as we were talking about Anton van Leeuwenhoek inventing that really simple microscope. And so you could see the cells in the water. And of course, we have plants in water like water lilies. You could see the plant cells in them with that microscope. So really, both of them, Robert Hooke and Anton van Leeuwenhoek, were really a big part of cells and how we created them. So really, I mean, I love cells. I think it's my favorite part about science.
Yeah, I think that's what I do right now.
Yeah, see right here. Every cell actually has its own job. Every cell has its very own job, and it has to do one little thing. So, I think I've said everything I know, but it says.
Yeah. So that's all the time we have today. See you next week on Science in Action.